A Different Start? By Tuka Marceau Alliances. Rimuru returned home by nighttime, sleeping and in her puddle form by a pack of large wolves that hardly resembled direwolves now. Rimuru. Blue Oni took Rimuru back from Ranga. After which, the large wolves shrunk to normal-sized wolves. Master is exhausted, said Ranga. She might still sleep for a bit while longer. All right. Blue Oni looked at the puddle in his arms that she was draped on him like a jelly-like cloth. By the way, what are you? We were direwolves before, said Ranga. But unlike my father, I believed in the gains of one becomes everyone's gains. Master told me to pray with my heart for my desires and wishes before she named me. The result of that is our change of race, and gaining skills we never had before. But I have no idea what my wishes had to do with those skills. But we can do more now. The two men exchanged looks. Come inside. That orc army can be anywhere, and they went inside and shut the gate. The Oni had a long talk about it with each other. The humans staying with them are called Ellen, Cabal and Guido. They couldn't leave in fear of Orc Lord finding them and eating them, thus they were reliant on the hospitality of the Oni, and learned why Shizu joined them. They had been despondent, but pulled their weight in the cave. And as Rimuru slept, they were all dependent on the dryads, telling them where it's safe to hunt food without fear of the orc army that 8 groups can bring back prey to feed everyone for 5 days straight with full stomachs. On the 5th day, Rimuru woke up, feeling better and was able to become human again, becoming a young girl in Blue Ona's arms. Phewie. She yawned. She found herself in a familiar cave. Oh, I'm home. Rimuru. Blue Oni exclaimed. The slime he knew became a beautiful young girl with clothes, wearing a smaller version of Shizu's dress, and sleeveless. On her legs were black tights and shrunken boots. How long has it been? Rimuru asked him. About 5 days, said Blue Oni. Oh. Well, conjuring a power that can defeat Ifrit instantly took a lot out of me, said Rimuru sheepishly. He's a high-level spirit and it's my first time pushing myself. They turned to see Cabal's party. Can we know more about Shizu? Ellen asked Rimuru. From what we learned from the dryads, we failed to see that she was suffering. Because she put up a mask. She said. If only we knew, she said somberly. Aya, you're not at fault. Rimuru reassured her kindly. When I ate her body, I learned that despite having the body of a 17-year-old human girl, she's actually 74 years old. Shock ensued from that revelation. For a human, it's fortunate enough to live past 70 as elderly people. Rimuru told them. There are many health factors why humans have short lives. Vices like smoking and getting drunk every day. Eating greasily cooked fatty food or too much sweets yet hardly any fruits and vegetables. Exposure to pollution by living in a place that makes too much smoke, being reliant on charcoal and firewood, as well as drinking dirty water. And for a short period of pleasure, taking illegal drugs. Due to those, humans mostly live less than 60 years old. The shortest being 20 or younger than that due to suicide out of despair. Only healthy humans live past 60. Okay, that must be her previous knowledge speaking, if not from great sage, the Oni thought. Shizu could have lived a long life as a slow-aging Majin, but she didn't choose to. Rimuru continued. She was too traumatized with what Ifrit did in her childhood that she gained the unique skill. Degenerate to prevent complete spirit fusion and kept herself human. That further led to her difficult life down the road with occasional bouts of murderous possessions that she spent a life alone than be made to hurt others. She shot herself in the foot out of despair and realized that too late, leading a life of lonely misery. But still, she remained kind and gentle in spite of it all. She was very strong in spirit and heart even if she cried a lot. Rimuru continued on sadly, her tale causing a somber atmosphere in the cave. She wished for friends. The happiness of a woman by falling in love, marrying and having a family, but she unwittingly tore herself from it all as a child. To prevent her hunger, craving for company, to end the loneliness of silence, she deliberately lived and worked alone. Only staying long enough to help fellow otherworlders before losing herself to Ifrit that would be enough reason to leave without telling anybody. I see. So that's how it is. Cabal mused mopingly. Shizu-san didn't have it easy. She had no idea if you guys survived that takeover. She dreaded Ifrit killing you guys. Rimuru continued. Seeing him burn you in her last minutes of life drove her to despair as she finally died in sorrow and guilt. That she didn't live long enough to know you were saved. The boys gritted their teeth in grief while Ellen cried. Live on if only for her. She never knew, you actually survived. Why yeah, we'll do that. Cabal sniffled. We're gonna live for her. They swore as a team on this. For now we're sticking around. Trying to go home with Orc army about, we're gonna die for realsies. Said Guido fretfully. We'll wait here until you guys declare it safe. We also pull our own weight here by helping with the cooking after the hunting teams bring back food and Ellen fixes the water for the Oni kids to prevent magicule poisoning. Yeah, even monsters get that, if they try to have more, before they mature or evolve, said Ellen. Speaking of that, said young master. Rimuru, the Council of Elders had a talk when you got home with the wolves. What about? The Orc army numbers around 200.000. That's before Father and our warriors killed off the orcs that attacked our village, that is. Said young master. Due to unique skill. Starved ones, they must have eaten enough monsters to be too strong beyond their class could afford them. The only way to get strong enough to survive our predicament is the naming. Rimuru mused. By Gelmid? Are they gonna beg for his mercy now? No you. Said young master firmly. We just waited for you to wake up. I see. You guys being Oni, I can only name a few a day, okay? I'm not exactly a wellspring of power, she said. For all my strength, I'm inexperienced. I've done goofed by using too much power on Ifrit before naming Ranga. I'll have great sage do computations first and ahem, budgeting my strength per individual warrior, okay? But I can make A classes out of you, Rimuru promised. Oh. And young master stood up to tell his father who was a ways away from their group. Naming monsters huh? This'll be our first time seeing this, said Ellen. Well, information is gold and Blumund lives off of information, said Guido. Soon, deliberations are done. Given magicule budgeting concerns, I can only name 18 people every time I'm at full power. Rimuru reminded them. 18 every 5 days, and we have an incoming war so only 18 gets to evolve today, our 18 strongest, she said. I need to fully recover because I too, will fight after that. All right. We decided who goes first in what order, the rest of us can wait, said Chief. Blue Oni told me that the culture of the village was founded thanks to Byakuya Araki, an otherworlder warrior who taught you many things. By looking at the village, combined with Shizu's memories, they're from the same world, but different timeline. So I will give you names Japan, their country uses. That got everybody talking now, as the samurai was a figure of high respect to the Oni for his noble personality, kindness, educated them and was a hero at one point in times of a bad crisis. Rimuru used skin color as inspiration with the Oni. Color, plus a word or trait that described them best. Or objects or nature-related things containing those colors. Chief is Kushiro, a name that means red castle. Young master is Benamaru, a name that means crimson circle. Blue Oni became Sue, a name that means blue shadow, to name a few, until all 18 individuals are named. She granted Kushiro 110,000 magicules, and his son and Sue 100,000 because she was partial to her friends, and the fact that Kushiro is chief and needs power to keep everyone in line. Not that she told them that though. Everyone else, 95,000. The massive power boost she granted that spoke volumes of how powerful Rimuru actually is, made them very powerful Kijin, more powerful than actual Kijin who took till their elderly years to evolve as they all felt the amount of magicules that leaves her body each time she names someone. The amount of power she gives is enough to wreck a whole town's worth of magic spells. The men all became very handsome Basenin version of themselves with fairer skin and retained their facial markings. Their teeth became pearly white and evenly straight, with their canines becoming smaller to prevent over or underbites caused by their canine teeth. In the case of Kijin with dark skin mixed with color matching their hair, that as an example Sue had dark skin mixed with blue making him look grayish, lost the mixed tone, and gained tanned skin tone instead. In the case of two elderly Kijin, they got taller, younger looking up to their 50s with no wrinkles, no sagging skin and no age spots, becoming handsome elderly Kijin instead, receiving a completed evolution, gaining the same boons as the younger ones. They also have slimmer, but very chiseled muscular bodies in forms unique to themselves with no body hair any woman would drool over as Rimuru imagined their evolution to be. The few women among the 18 grew to be beautiful bombshells in figure but with emphasis on toned and shapely arms, fat-free flat small waists, flared shapely hips and legs shaped by muscle and not fat. She did not make changes to their chest sizes. They're big enough as it is. Their horns also got narrower. The Oni, who already possessed formidable physical prowess, had their current physical prowess tripled as Kijin. And because Rimuru knew of their fertility issues, tried her best to influence their evolution with helping the men gain virility and the female Kijin boosted fertility and pray that it worked, so she's not gonna tell them, only for them to get disappointed in the end. They now have a new problem. Their clothes and armor no longer fit anymore. URK. I have no idea Oni go slim upon becoming Kijin. Rimuru's sweat dropped as the ladies quickly helped the skinnies adjust their clothes while she was in slime puddle mode but not tired enough to hibernate. I thought they were always muscular beefies. Cabal's party was behind a conjured stone wall as the 18 named her naked down to their fundoshi, that their mothers, wives, sisters were adjusting their clothing for them and their shoes. Even more horrifying, the Oni and Kijin have no sense of shame regarding nudity and pretty casual about it. Heck, they even began comparing. So it was mostly the humans hiding behind the wall Rimuru made for them, highly embarrassed. Rimuru, aren't you shy about all that naked people about? Ellen squeaked out. Should I? Rimuru piped up. Monsters don't care about stuff like that. Besides, how many bodies of naked boys and their thingies did she see in her many BL doujinshi back home in varying art styles? And being a human woman once, she's seen her own breasts enough. Well, shows what we know about monsters. Guido croaked out. Now they have clothing and shoe issues before they can worry about going to war with orcs, he said wryly. Rimuru scratched her head. On the bright side, the room is full of dreamboats and beauties, don't you think? Hey Rimuru, play with us. The Oni kids approached Rimuru, who went slime mode. Okay. Catch me if you can this time. Boing boing booing booing, and she bounced off. Get back here, that was cute, the humans thought with flushed faces. That was kinda cute. Cabal chuckled. Yeah, that boing boing sold it, Guido grinned. Hard to believe she's only over 100 days old, said Ellen Riley, but more powerful than anyone in this room. Yeah, no kidding, Guido nodded sagely. After clothing disaster, Chief gathered everyone. We will go to see the Lizardmen for an alliance as this matter concerns us all who live in these woods, said Kushiro. I sent Sue as an envoy and he can tell all we know. All we have to do is wait for word from him. XXX Lake Sis. With his newfound powers, Sue got to Lake Sis real fast. Considering his job as spymaster, he knows where all tribes are located. Thus he was able to exploit a skill he gained with his evolution, spatial travel. He was able to get there in a jiffy when it would have taken him 5 days, and they don't have 5 days. A good day to you, sir. Sue spoke. I am Sue, envoy of the Oni tribe. Because majority of them are still Oni, Chief Kushiro decided there to be Oni as a whole until all adults are fully evolved. The youngsters who will marry young for the sake of procreation will remain Oni until too powerful to have children. You're a named monster, what does the Oni wish to speak of? The Lizardman chieftain asked of him. Our chieftain, Chief Kushiro, wishes to form an alliance with the Lizardmen for the common goal of surviving the Orc Lord and his army of 175,000. You mean all of you weren't annihilated as we thought? No, when that arrogant Majin who visited our village offered us names in exchange for our servitude, Chief rebuked him upon seeing his sinister and shady true nature. We Oni may be mercenaries as our livelihood, but we only choose noble clients, not crooks, said Sue. So we split into 2 groups. Our fighters remained while our citizens evacuated to safety after packing necessities, and an hour after our citizens left, a fully armored orc army attacked us all, equipped with full-plate mail and rare class weaponry. The Lizardmen gasped at this. That Majin set them on us. Not long after, a dryad approached us, said Sue, asking our aid to deal with the Orc Lord. I knew it. The chieftain groaned, face palming. But it's too early for an Orc Lord to be born, but evidence can't deny it. Not long ago, our scouts reported that army marching around. We suspect it depends on the naming system, said Sue, repeating Rimuru's wisdom. If a benevolent monster names another and does things properly, their evolution proceeds to a correct path. But if a sinister monster, they will stray and become calamity. There was more to naming than just granting power and triggering evolution, and it's possible to cheat the benefits of evolution if the namer deliberately held back their magicules instead of the system automatically taking what was required. This concerns all of Jura as a whole, and the Dryads ask our cooperation. Once you approach the nearest tree they will speak with you to verify my words, he said. And for the record, I am a properly evolved Kijin. said Sue, flaring his aura that got everyone in the caverns floored. The aura of an A-class monster is before them. My people and I are evidence of the correct path through a benevolent power. However, only 18 of us can be named in a day by our benefactor. And that's not enough against that massive army, and she herself is fighting in the front lines alongside us, so she needs to rest for 5 days. Then, what of my son? The chieftain croaked out. He is certainly a named, but he is only a bit stronger than me now, but not becoming a dragonoot. Oh no. He shook in horrible realization. My son gave his allegiance to him, and yet. Indeed. He is among the swindled and possibly corrupted. Sue confirmed as the chieftain looked like he lost strength out of shock. The female beside him was no better, in horror etched on her face. There were others before your son who was shorted. The only one he caused to stray was the Orc Lord, as the Orc Lord had that unique skill upon evolution thus useful to Gelmid. It doesn't change the fact that his actions are backed by whatever demon lord he's serving that's causing all this trouble, and rendered many tribes extinct as we speak by attacking and eating them. Then through your connections, where are they? Chieftain shook shakily, his fists clenching. And is there a way to save my boy from himself? We will have to ask those wiser than us, said Sue. We'll try our luck with the Dryads. We're familiar with Miss Trainee, as she was the one who approached us. What is your response to our alliance offer? The orcs will be here in 5 days, and by then, we're ready to strike. We're next? The female guard stammered. But Gabel swore allegiance to Gelmid. What about us? As long as you have numbers to feed an army, you're as good as food, said Sue bluntly, greatly shaking her in fear. That is why he is leading them here. Us Kijin will be here in 5 days with Tempest Wolves. This is the only ideal time to put an end to the Orc Lord. Anywhere else in Jura is impossible. This is why Chief Kushiro has approached Lizardman Chieftain for an alliance. The chieftain thought about it. All things considered, our marshes are open ground indeed, ideal for a battlefield, he said. Evacuate our women and children. Us fighters will remain here. He barked to his council. Ready our men and sharpen our spears. In 5 days, fate will decide if we die or live to see next week. Yes, sir. And the council ran off, out of the throne room. Daughter, find your brother and be careful of the army. The chieftain instructed his daughter, who was beside him. Where did he go? Sue asked him. I sent him to form alliances with as many tribes as he could meet, said the chieftain with a weary sigh. But all that's left are goblins now in such a short time, for what are our 10,000 against 175,000? He chuckled bitterly. But at this point, nobody can afford to complain, he said. I wanted to approach you Oni first, for one of you is worth 1,000 to make up for the numbers, but my messengers found your village a mess and nobody left. Nobody could have known you were in fact all alive and luckily approached us. Well, let's just say a good idea. One dinner night saved us all. Sue chuckled darkly. I will report to Chief Kushiro. If Chieftain's answer to our request is positive, we will mobilize to this area immediately with our wolves and Kijins. By the way, this me you see is a mere clone. And, Sue, dissolved into magicules. XXX. The truth was, after Sue was done flaring his aura to prove his claim that he is a Kijin, he switched with his clone while the Lizardmen are still floored and left the rest to it as he controlled his clone from afar. Chieftain's reply is positive. We can mobilize immediately, Sue reported. Kushiro nodded before beginning barking orders. Pack some provisions, everyone. Even with a short trip thanks to the Tempest Wolves, nobody can still go to war hungry and thirsty. Yes, Chief. Rimuru, are you really going? Princess asked Rimuru, who stood up. Yeah, anyone who can fight has to go, said Rimuru. So we can all go home sooner since the cave isn't comfortable for everyone here, she said. The kids are already getting antsy. They have yet to learn how to endure the life of a disaster refugee. This is your first time as a refugee too, you know. Princess pouted. Rimuru laughed weakly at that. Ahahaha, as a slime, I can live anywhere, even inside a flower vase, and still feel okay. Rimuru laughed. Because I can't feel pain thanks to my pain nullification. So yeah, discomfort. What's that? Great Sage taught me what it was when I noted the children are getting uncomfortable, so we gotta hurry this. Princess looked at the children who were complaining to their mothers about aching backs from having to sleep on a rocky floor. Only a bit while longer, then we can all go home, she said softly. Rimuru nodded. Yes, but if we win and can go home, we have another problem. Kushiro said that the orcs wrecked our houses, right? Princess choked. So much for returning home for comfort. Warzone I. The Kijin army marched forward, riding all the Tempest wolves in their giant forms, so there's room for everybody. Rimuru had to create clones just so she can tie them up to the wolves so they won't fall when the wolves go full speed ahead. What a speed though. At least it got them to Lake Sis in a matter of hours. What's wrong with you people? Chief Lizardman wondered, baffled as the Kijin arrived looking windblown. Their hair stayed comically windblown. It's a long story. Kushiro twitched. But at least we have a few days' time before they strike. Have your civilians evacuated? It's just me and our warriors here, said the chieftain. For the day of the reckoning. And I consulted with Miss Trainee as Sue Dono advised regarding my son. We need a good oriented Majin to cure my boy, he said in a pained voice. And where will I find such a benevolent Majin who will name my son to override Gelmud's influence on him? As soon as he came home, we had to subdue him with a sleep powder mixed in his dinner and kept him drugged. The Kijin and Oni exchanged looks. We have one right here, said Kushiro. Despite how she looks, she's more powerful than anyone in this room, capable of naming 18 Oni a day into Kijin. Where is she? The chieftain gasped eagerly. It's me. A childish young girl's voice spoke. From Sue's arms was a slime that jumped off his hold and became a young girl, flaring her immense aura too powerful to compare. Even her companions winced at the atmosphere because she was that powerful. She limited magic pressure in the room they were in though. How can a slime have such power? She is your benefactor? Chieftain wheezed as the pressure stopped, that the heaviness was gone. It was hard to believe that such power came from a slime. A being usually eaten as a summer snack. Yes. Rimuru is a unique slime. She herself is named by a powerful benevolent monster, so she is the way she is. Said Kushiro. She can override Gelmud's will on your son. Go get Gabiru immediately, he commanded excitedly as some soldiers quickly left to get the Lizardman in question. They were back with the snoring young Lizardman and gently laid him on the floor. Rimuru touched his chest with her tiny hand to assess his strength before she looked perplexed. With Great Sage's analysis, he just got a minor power boost by 10% along with thought manipulation. To evolve him into a Dragonute needs a bit more oomph. This is a named monster? Rimuru asked with a blank look on her face. Good grief. She snapped her fingers to force the guy awake with her magic. HNGGWA. Where? Good you're awake. Gabiru turned to look at the beautiful girl when he turned his head. I name you Gabiru. Considerable magic left her and she had Gabiru evolve into a handsome Dragonute. Well, how handsome Dragonoids can get by their standards anyway, and she left that job to nature itself. He also sprouted wings and horns he can retract anytime, and gained some skills suited to his race and inherited some from her. His mind also got clearer and his personality changed to how Rimuru imagined his family knows him. What's going on? Gabiru squawked as he put his hands on both sides of his head. These past few days, what the hell? Brother. The lizard woman croaked out, concerned with her brother's words. These past few days wasn't me at all. Gabiru cried imploringly but also hysterically. There's no way I do or say or think those things. He was absolutely shaken. What was wrong with me? I'm back. Okay, everyone thought. That was really concerning now. Gabiru was indeed corrupted through his personality. Are you back to normal now, my son? Chieftain asked Gabiru hopefully. I am, father. Gabiru kowtowed to his father. I've been so rude these past few days since Gelmud-sama named me. I'm so sorry. But I never realized what I was doing or saying since it felt so natural. What matters is you're back to normal, and evolved at that through proper naming, said the chieftain in joyous relief. Overriding Gelmud by naming you again was the only way to save you. Gabiru pushed himself back up to see the girl who named him, who changed back into a slime. His eyes popped out in shock. Nya. Rimuru made that cute sound on purpose, before bouncing back to Sue. Gabiru was in shock and smacked himself. Okay, that hurt. That's normal reaction. Benimaru's sweat dropped. Gabiru clearly can't believe the one who named him and made him evolve was a slime. Is it such a shocker? Rimuru giggled, amused. To be fair, you shocked us too. Kushiro deadpanned. Singing slime on her first day? Her intelligence that benefited their village and her collections? I'm grateful to have my son back at any rate, said Chieftain, kowtowing to them. The bodyguards and tribal elders following his example. From a role model prince to suddenly become an arrogant, narcissistic young man so suddenly after being named. I wondered where I went wrong with my parenting. He lamented before looking angry and clenched his fists. It was Gelmud's fault all along. Don't mention it, Chieftain, said Rimuru. The power behind a naming is more complex than you'd imagine if one doesn't know all the rules. She said, it's more than a name and bestowing power in the end. A Majin can only hope a good person names them, not a bad person. Gabiru was also infected with thought manipulation when I checked him. He was under mental magic all this time. Her words horrified the Lizardman and the Dragonood at the revelation. So whatever he did and said, please just sweep it under the rug as it's not your son back there as you know your son well. It's something he'd never do if he was truly himself. Though you have a lot of explaining to do to your people after. Yeah, I have to apologize in person. Gabiru croaked out with a gloomy sigh. I never knew I changed after Gelmud-sama named me. Things I said and did just felt so normal somehow. I guess before our battle with the orcs, reconciliation is in order. Kushiro advised. We have time left before they get here. XXX outside the caverns. The Oni pitched camp and set to cook their provisions. Where Rimuru began singing again as soon she started music again. Settling herself on Ranga while he ate his meat raw. Oh, it's been a while since she last sang a song, said Sue while helping to chop up monster meat. She's playing with the kids a lot so it's been a while. She was remembering her past through her songs as any song can be a trigger for the real her to return so when she sings, they watch out. Living in my own world okay, she's imitating a man's voice? Whose? Didn't understand that anything can happen when you take a chance. I never believed in now this one's Rimuru herself. What I couldn't see I never opened my heart to all the possibilities. I know that something has changed never felt this way. And right here tonight this could be the start of something new. It feels so right to be here with you and now I'm looking in your eyes. I feel in my heart the start of something new now who'd have ever thought that. We'd both be here tonight and the world looks so much brighter. With you by my side I know that something has changed. Never felt this way I know it for real this could be the start of something new. It feels so right to be here with you, oh, and now looking in your eyes. I feel in my heart the start of something new I never knew that it could happen till it happened to me, oh yeah. I didn't know it before but now it's easy to see, oh. It's the start of something new it feels so right to be here with you. And now looking in your eyes I feel in my heart that it's the start of something new. It feels so right to be here with you and now looking in your eyes I feel in my heart. The start of something new, the start of something new. At least it's an improvement from the last song we heard, said Benimaru Riley. It's a song for broken hearts. Yeah, that one's about being struck by love for first time. Agreed one Oni. Their local slimes singing eased the tension in the camp. The next song started with a whistle, The Loving Starry Sky. Should make you feel touched I'm here by your side. Decorating heaven for you I won't let you feel sad. I'll chase away your loneliness the weight of your unfulfilled dreams. Let me bear them all leading you, by the hand doesn't matter how strong the wind blows. For you have me now you'll never lose your way again. Watching the meteor rain fall onto earth with you letting your tears fall onto my shoulder. I want you to believe that my love will only brave for you. And I'll show you where happiness lies if you have sadness, leave your heart for me to protect. The tired fireworks, I'll chase them away for you flowery words are only empty flattery. If I am silent, it's because I love you so much leading you, by the hand. Doesn't matter how strong the wind blows for you have me now. You'll never lose your way again watching the meteor rain fall onto earth with you. Letting your tears fall onto my shoulder I want you to believe that my love will only brave for you. And I'll show you where happiness lies the rain has stopped. The clouds have parted leaving behind a lovely warmth. I want to share the tears in your eyes watching the meteor rain fall onto earth with you. Letting your tears fall onto my shoulder I want you to believe that my love will only brave for you. And I'll show you where happiness lies watching the meteor rain fall onto earth with you. Letting your tears fall onto my shoulder I want you to believe that my love will only brave for you. And I'll show you where happiness lies, those Oni like their musical poetry huh? Yeah, that slime's real good, I could watch this all night, yeah? Yeah, some fun before those pigs get here, ugh. The Lizardmen sentry were listening to the songs, enjoying themselves. Rimuru sang one last song when the food finally cooked, but this song, it's different. Suddenly, they're all in an auditorium, they're all in an illusion. Human adults sitting in rows of chairs, dressed formally. But their features are different from humans they used to deal with. Musicians sitting in front of a stage with instruments. Young humans, be it boys and girls in similar clothing, go up the stage as music began playing. Tabadachi no Hai ni. What's this? Could this be? They all looked at Rimuru, whose eyes were unusually wide. Her eyes were double the size. She began singing in a different language, as the song went on. Why the heck are the people in the illusion crying? The Oni, Kijin and Lizardmen were baffled. As the song went on, they witnessed graduation rites and the kids leaving with their families. The last memory was in a first-person view. Whoever this was looking at two men of different ages and one woman. Sosugyuse Sudai Omadito, Satoko. A older man spoke to them, or rather, who the Oni realized Rimuru used to be. When Benimaru looked, Rimuru was crying. He rapidly tapped his father and best friend, who looked at him before pointing at Rimuru, who was in a trance, but crying. This was one of her memories. Anata Isshokenmei Hitarida ne, the woman next to him said happily. Kyuka ga hoshi na mama, papa, onichan, at least, those two words were universal. Boku wa tatamo sukaridiru kara. The memory was over and they were back at camp. Our Rimuru? Oi. Sue carefully patted Rimuru, who was stiff, but still crying. Her tears were flowing. Wasat. Who are they? Rimuru gasped out. Why am I crying? She stammered out in a shaky voice. We saw one of your memories, said another Kijin. Humans in a room full of chairs. Human children singing on a stage. And people began crying. Yeah, what's going on? You sang in another language even. Another inquired. Rimuru was a reincarnator otherworlder, as they all know. Remembering mostly songs and other things. Let's see. That was. Rimuru paused for a bit in a bid to recall as she pulled out all her acting skills. Little by little, she would show them her memories and show she was a good person instead of a bad person she never was, but dreaded she could be by them. Graduation song? We're leaving school? The Oni and Kijin exchanged looks. That means it's a ceremony after you finished your education. Hakuro mused sagely, stroking his beard. You're now an adult of society. They also saw who could have been her family in her past life, and they seemed to be nice people. XXX. After dinner, Rimuru played with the wolves. What do you make out of that scene earlier? Kushiro asked his people. It's a coming-of-age ceremony after graduating from school. Judging by human age, that part was when Rimuru was either human age 16 or 18, depending on her country's laws. For some reason that song made everybody cry though, Shion pouted. Satoko. Her name used to be Satoko. Benimaru mused, somewhat getting that from what Rimuru's father said, but her name is Rimuru Tempest now. For now, use her monster name. Kushiro told his son. It's now her name etched in her soul as per the norm for us monsters upon being named. Even if she learns that was once her name, her soul will make her reject even the name given to her by her parents. He said. They seem to be good people, proud of her for graduating. Graduating? Huh? None of us ever been to school. Sue snorted. We learned everything at home. We even came of age at home. Knowledge from our ancestors, we inherited through word of mouth, and skill from body. And at home we progress at our own pace. Said Hakuro. School is unnecessary for us, unlike humans who make a big deal out of it. Why do humans have school? Benimaru wondered. According to my human grandfather, it's a status symbol to afford education. Said Hakuro. Only the royals, nobles and wealthy can afford it. And then it's competition from there, with children under pressure not to shame their clans. He said. School in turn, is a nonviolent battlefield. A war between clans to prove their superiority to others through their children in order to look good to their lord. It's another way to earn merits and fame. Well, that's not the case for our little lady over there, said another Kijin as they looked at where Rimuru was playing with the wolves. Those parents were crying in their seats when that song was sung. Well, their kids are no longer children, they're adults now, said another. Gone are the old days. So, despite Rimuru-sama looking like that, we treat her as an adult now. Rimuru now, looks like a little girl. Let's decide that before she comes back. Kushiro coughed awkwardly. Soon, Rimuru and the wolves are back with more food. I got these for night watch, Rimuru chimed, bringing home large monsters with the wolves. Oh ho. That'd be a good help. Kushiro appreciated the extra food. Go get some rest, tomorrow, you're on morning shift with everyone else. XXX next morning, the adults rested in the caverns after breakfast, so it's the younger people on watch. Rimuru was flying around in her slime form, which makes it hard for her to be seen from the sky. The only time Rimuru sings is when everyone's awake during dinner. And on the promised day. Potion supplies filled in a heavy dinner in advance, they prepared for the coming war. Come to think of it, I don't have a sword like everyone else. Rimuru pouted as she mentally prepared herself for war. Oh yeah, I have Shizu's sword, I can use that. She thought as she modified her clothes using magic. She made a sleeveless imitation uwagi out of her white dress, bike shorts out of the stockings, and waraji sandals out of the reeds in the marshes. Oh, you changed clothes? Sue asked her, noting her outfit change. Yeah. Shizu's clothes are too famous because she's famous, a rare A-class adventurer. Humans already see adventurers of that rank as champions, so they're always called no matter where the conflicts are. I can't dress like her. In the past few days I now know what she knows in her 70-something years in this world. Rimuru told him as she took out Shizu's sword set out of her stomach and equipped it. For sure, this conflict is gonna be big news. If I was seen wearing an outfit like hers, people will look for me for sure and not in a good way. She said with a shudder. At least Cabal's party will keep quiet for me. I see, so it's to hide our association with her. Yeah. Soon, 2 armies gathered. They'll be here in an hour. Prepare yourselves. Kushiro boomed to the 2 armies. It's them, or us. Spare no expense. Oh, you. This is it, Rimuru. Benimaru told her, depending on the situation. Yeah. Leave Orc Lord to me if he's beyond anyone's level. Rimuru advised. I'll handle him. Yeah, be careful. And they all moved out to the open marshes, awaiting the arrival of the orcs. Soon, it was war. Rimuru flew up above everyone else. Great Sage, calculate the amount of soldiers left before they got here. Calculating. 192,520 orcs left. Estimated strength is currently B-rank class, but intelligence is lessened. Great Sage informed her. Through unique skill. Starved ones, they gain the powers of the fallen by eating them, and the power or whatever skill gained is shared to all orcs. Guess they must have gotten into some fights before getting here. Rimuru frowned as she transmitted knowledge through her named. 192,520, is it? Benimaru frowned, hearing her words. And as strong as B-rank monsters? I still don't get human ranking order. That means they're around us only, but the good thing is, they're not smart enough to wield their gains. We can manage that by sunrise. Kushiro told his son. At least we now know how many. He swore as they gained many skills upon evolution, as well as classy magisteel swords. They'll win this. XXX. 192520 according to Rimuru-sama. Gabiru bellowed to his men. We can do this. That's over 7,480 less from initial reports. When our scouts counted 5 days ago, there's about 2,000. Probably got into some fights. Whatever, XXX easier said than done. Each fallen orc are immediately eaten. So it's a battle of a different kind of attrition that the Kijin began using their fire magic to burn while killing so the fallen can't be eaten. From up above, Rimuru was doing her fair share of shooting, planting magic circles on the slide to recreate an attack in video games. Dragon crest out of FF9. 10 of them in the battlefield causing quite the mayhem. People could see blue-colored dragon heads resembling Veldora made of magic rise up and chomp whoever's in it, and it can be seen for miles, causing terror within the forest. Rimuru now has a body count herself. To recover the magicules she spent, she atomized her victims into magicules which she absorbed for herself. The total of which, surpassing her current power. Great Sage knows Rimuru will never suffer magicule poisoning now, having accustomed to so much power plus regenerating constantly before it can even kick in anyway from this point onward. It now focuses on strengthening her Demon Lord seed foundation for the future. Considering the havoc and mayhem going on in the forest, Gelmid and a clown named Laplace watched the battle. This don't look good, Gelmid-sama. Laplace remarked with a deadpan as Gelmid shook. Who on earth caused so many Veldora heads to come out? Gelmid looked to see Rimuru, who was the caster. A child. Gelmid swore as they watched Rimuru shoot magic from her fingers that were instant magic circles upon striking the soil, creating said Veldora heads. A child is causing damage to our plans? Foo. That child is indeed reliable when giving miscreants like you a bad day. Trainee spoke coldly as she appeared in a swirl of glowing leaves. I believe you've had enough fun desecrating the forest. This ain't good, Gelmid-sama. That's a dryad. The caretakers of the forest. Laplace exclaimed in alarm. He's strong, but he has no ability to battle a spirit who, on the other hand, can easily kill him, fully aware she's out of his league. This is a lost cause to begin with. Had the opponent been flesh and blood, then he'd have the confidence. Repent for your sins in the afterlife. Spirit summoning. Sylphid. Trainee summoned her spirit. Now Gelmid and Laplace were terrified. Never mind Trainee, what she called out is far worse. Jay jumping the gun so soon? Trainee's not listening, showing her cold-hearted approach. Aerial blade. You're crazy, lady. Warzone 2. Gelmid and Laplace are forced to flee as they're outgunned as Dryad aside, her spirit is an upper-tier spirit. Double the threat. Back at the battle, it's clearly a one-sided battle that half the army is gone. The Orc Lord now showed up. It's literally one-sided. I don't know whether to laugh or not. Rimuru sweat dropped, scratching the back of her head. The Kijin and Ranga are doing most of the work. Hey great sage, if making the Kijin A class is this scary already, what am I? Rimuru inquired of great sage. Ranga alone can wipe out a town. Yeah, her alpha wolf conjured giant tornadoes for crying out loud. This was through his gift, when she incorporated Storm, Veldora's element into his naming. Regarding Master's inquiry, you can wipe out a city in 3 minutes by yourself and not even winded, and proceed to level half the country by yourself. That is how powerful you are now after you worked hard in Veldora's cave and absorbing the magicules here. Good thing I'm a good guy. Rimuru gulped at the power she possessed, and she knows full well how to enjoy herself, if she bothered to try. How many are left? 39,732 and counting. 39,500. Alert. Orc Lord is approaching. 37,650. That's my cue. Rimuru grinned. I'm at full power, which helps. She let herself descend to the ground and she faced the Orc Lord himself upon landing in front of the Orc Lord. I found Orc Lord. Less than 38,000 orcs left. Leave Orc Lord to me. Understood. Her named answered. Gelmid, you can see this using scrying, can't you? Rimuru called out mockingly. You're losing real bad. What you get for pissing us off? She grinned darkly. After we mop this up, you're next. XXX elsewhere. Gelmid shook in anger at the insult, causing him to throw the crystal ball to the floor, smashing it. Grr. How can they be so useless? He fumed, stomping hard on the shards. What the hell are the orcs doing? I remember setting Geld on a large ogre village. They're clearly alive and kicking. And that large beast. He mused, seeing Ranga in the battlefield. Nobody told me a beast like that existed in Jura. What's going on beyond my notice? He was now shaking in both fear and anger. The demon lords he gathered for this show are watching and are clearly seeing his plans fall apart, as he had invited Milam, Frey, Carrion and Clayman to watch his show. Failing to impress them was the frightening part, and what makes him angry is that he's losing his puppet soon. This is bad. I must do something or my plans will fall apart after coming so far, and in a panic, he flew towards the battlefield at high speed. I better fix this. Or I'll be killed. Killed by that person. His thoughts fell onto a castle by a cliff, supported by natural limestone pillars, and of the man dressed in a classy white suit residing in it. Minutes after Rimuru insulted him, he arrived landing like a meteor between her and Orc Lord. After the smoke dissipated, he began spewing diatribe. What's going on here? How dare you interfere with the great Lord Gelmud's plans? Rimuru raised an eyebrow before wearing a dark smile, before she kicked him between the legs, hard. While the monsters who know him were pissed upon seeing him again, the men present cringed at what she just did as they heard that sickening squelch in a now quiet battlefield, the sound made when she smashed the only eggs a man can ever have. UWARRRRGGGHHH, ooh, that hurt over there. Benimaru shuddered, feeling the phantom pains already. I heard that. Sue cringed. What's so great about you? Rimuru sneered as she removed her leg, making Gelmid fall onto his knees, pigeon-toed, hands over his precious. You're weaker than even your Orc Lord, she said in an icy, derisive voice. You've caused us so much trouble that punishment should befit the crime, don't you think? And she stomped on his head hard. She was showing no mercy at all. Ooh, I know. She kicked Gelmid towards Orc Lord, who caught Gelmid. Orc Lord, you hungry, right? Eat him. The Orc Lord actually contemplated her words. His sanity erodes under the effects of starved, only capable of understanding what benefits starved at this point. Hungry. Wait. No, it's me. Gelmid sputtered, but too late. Orc Lord's mouth opened and ate him head first. Gyahhhhh. Befitting end for the bastard who set hungry orcs on us, Kushiro said coldly. Now then. The rest is left to Rimuru as she wants. Yes. Kill the Orc Lord and all this is over. Hakuro agreed as after Orc Lord ate Gelmid. Orc Lord's magicules increased and is starting to overflow. The aura enveloped him into a cocoon of magicules. Confirmed. They all heard the voice of the world. The Orc Lord Geld's magicules have vastly increased. The cocoon soon vanished, showing a much taller, and a somewhat physically fit giant orc. Successful. He has now become Demon Lord Seed, Orc Disaster Geld. Demon Lord Seed. Just like me. Rimuru frowned. I better end this quick before he masters that power. Geld howled. I am Orc Disaster, he boomed. The one who will devour all in this world, came his declaration. By that, he gained some mental lucidity now, or maybe all of it. Everyone, back away, Rimuru commanded. This is a showdown between us now. We Demon Lord Seeds, she said, flaring her own magic pressure upon her declaration. Rimuru's a Demon Lord Seed too? Kushiro's eyes popped out. So she says. And Oni gasped out. The two races were wide-eyed in shock at her declaration. Even more so with how strong she actually is. She suddenly vanished, and punched a hole into Geld's massive torso, and she was behind him. What was left of his torso was a bit of his collar and thin strings of flesh from his sides connecting his upper half to his hips. Even the orcs are now shocked. However, yellow gelatinous tentacles formed to regenerate Geld. I'm hungry. Apparently, healing himself just makes him hungrier. Give me your bodies. He raised his hand to cast a spell. A red orb ball and shot it at the coalition army. Rimuru appeared in a blink to catch it and devoured it herself, increasing her own magicules in turn. Absorption. Is a slime's shtick. Rimuru summoned her created spirit, Shiva. Absolute Zero. Shiva raised her left hand to her lips and as if blowing a kiss, blew a torrent of icy winds so painful Geld howled in both cold and pain from cellular freezing that killed cells. Geld struggled to move as he healed from it. Maybe tearing him apart is better. Benimaru croaked out. The idea is to make him spend as much energy as possible. Rimuru told him. Because I cannot truly kill him if he has power left. To be fair, he's making me spend too as Demon Lord Seeds can regenerate. It's not easy to kill us, she explained. However, I have an advantage. I'm a slime and what can slimes naturally do? The Oni and Kijin thought about her words before they realized it. Indeed, Rimuru has a racial advantage. Slimes absorb, dissolve and regenerate. Their primary sustenance are magicules to begin with, which means she constantly recovers. Then, Benimaru lit up, as if to confirm his words, she nodded. Yup. And Rimuru was gone again, Shiva at her back, conjuring an elegant ice hammer and fought Geld. Their forces sending shockwaves at their wake, forcing everyone to back off. Geld was at a disadvantage as Shiva was relentless in her attacks, forcing him to use his tentacles to grab her hammer and corrode it, but she let go and simply recreated another, and bashed him on the head. Once Geld was starting to slow down, Rimuru became a slime puddle that increased in mass and wrapped herself around Geld. An ever-growing, ever-spreading blob wrapping around you, with no way out, is downright terrifying. Geld knew the horror of terror. Especially as how it's his turn of being eaten alive. Now, which is faster, your devouring, or my predation? If you're the hungry, then I'm the eater. Upon eating enough of Geld, she saw his memories. It was an arid land, crying, skinny, orc children. There stood 2 orc adults. Geld himself, and a sad-looking one behind him. Even then, the markings on Geld's face made his destiny determined at the start. That he was to be Orc Lord. Gelmud just sped up the process, it seems. "Are you guys hungry?" Geld asked kindly to the children, before tearing off his own arm and gave it to them. "Here you go. Eat, and grow big and strong." It's clearly a famine. Starvation is inevitable, Rimuru thought. Things got so bad even portly beings went skinny. "My king, please stop this." The sad one pleaded. "If we were to lose even you, nothing will await us but despair." Geld's grief was palpable even in this memory world. "The child born 2 days ago died this morning," he said somberly, "and the child born yesterday is at death's door." Geld looked at his arms. "My body will always regenerate parts one tear off, but this..." He shook in sorrow. "If this is not already despair, then what else can it be?" "My king. I will go to the forest in search of food," Geld told him. But the forest has the divine protection of the storm dragon," the younger man protested in worry. "The storm dragon has long since been sealed away," said Geld, confident of his safety. "I must seek even the slightest blessing." Geld wandered alone for days, under the scorching sun of day, and bitter cold at night, wearing him down. "Hungry. I must eat something. Anything." He whimpered, his mind broken and delirious with exposure, hunger and thirst. He finally collapsed. It was then he met Gelmud. "I will give you a name and some food," he offered. "Who are you?" Geld croaked out feebly, moving his head to look at the Majin before him. "I am Gelmud. Think of me as your father." And then 2 wills met, Rimuru and Geld. "He told me that anyone I ate as Orc Lord would not die, under the control of Starve," said Geld softly, but his soft voice was laced with grief. "It appears he was using me as his pawn in his evil scheme. But I had to take the risk." He told her. "That is why I must eat. Even if you are a slime that eats, I cannot afford to be eaten." "It's already a lost cause from the start," Rimuru told him. "You suffer alone. You're forever tormented for a brief relief in others. A briefness so brief it doesn't even last 6 hours after a meal. Even so, I must do it." Geld continued as in the outside world, they were still fighting. Rimuru was now a large mass of slime and Geld was a frightening, half-eaten monster, not even given a chance to heal. He was just hanging on by sheer will. "I ate so many people. I even ate Lord Gelmud. I even ate my own brethren. The last one pained him the most. They're hungry. I cannot lose. In this world, it's eat or be eaten. That is the world of us monsters," said Rimuru softly. "You will soon die. You will lose." "I can't. If I die, my sins will fall on their shoulders," Geld argued. "To ensure they won't starve, I must take all the world's hunger upon myself." "You will still lose either way," Rimuru insisted. "You will die soon. But rest easy. I will take it on for you. Your pain. Your sorrow. Your sins," she promised him. "Devour them? Yeah. I will also take on your people's sorrows," Rimuru promised him kindly. Geld cried as he was now bones in the real world. "That's greedy of you. I should be, because I too eat." And she conquered his will, and created a paradise out of his nightmares of the arid land. A grassy meadow. Thick forests with a lake lying ahead. The forest of Jura as Rimuru remembers in her travels before she came upon Oni village. The joyous laughter of children can be heard. Geld's eyes welled up in tears at the sight of the promised land before him. "Greedy one." He stammered out, choking his sobs. "One who devours my sins. I thank you. It's all over. I'm satisfied." And he was gone. In the real world, his body is gone as the sun rose from the east, and what's left is now a tower of slime. The orcs collapsed when Geld died, the effects of Starved vanished and they all regained their sanities, howling in horror at what they have done. The slime tower shook, wobbled and twisted into a Twizzler, before bursting to show a longer-haired, and much older Rimuru, appearing mid-adolescence of around 5 feet 3 in height, with a frail-looking shapely slender figure with a pair of bees on her chest. Her clothes stretched too tautly that they ripped, she had to quickly compensate with magic, and her sandals too small now for her feet. She also obtained his Demon Lord seed, making her all the more powerful now. Her almost 2 million magicules doubled as a result. "Sleep well, Geld," And she slowly floated down to look at her people as they cheered that she won. It's all over now, she told them. You've done well, Rimuru. Kushiro praised her. She was now as tall as his daughter. Demon Lord Seed, huh? Yeah, that's what teacher told me. Is it good? Kushiro's face fell. Well, she has to keep getting lessons from Great Sage. The more the better. It's very much good, Kushiro said feebly. Ask your skill. Let's go meet up with the Lizardman. XXX, I see. So that's how it ended. Lizardman chieftain mused as two Demon Lord Seeds battled and it's Rimuru who won. Yes. Said Kushiro. The battle was almost one-sided, he said as they glanced at Rimuru who was weaving waraji out of reeds they took before coming here. Rimuru made it look so easy. Well, racial advantage aside, I had another, said Rimuru. Understarved ones, the stronger you get, the more intelligence and sanity you lose in turn, forever a slave to hunger, thus he's not a really good fighter, even a little kid is better than him if there's no power disadvantage. She said. Had Orc Disaster been sane and his mind lucid enough, he would figure out how to use his massive powers in turn, giving me a hard time even if I'll still win after considerably difficulty, she said. But I would lose to Demon Lord Seeds who are better than me in fighting. I'm mostly a magic user, not a warrior like everyone else, she said. Fighters have an advantage over magic users. They can move anytime with a weapon or skill, while we magicians need time to be deadly. She told them. In the time magic users prepare to cast, a swordsman can use that time to run at us and lop our heads off before we can fire a spell. To be as good, she would have to study Shizu's memories about fighting skills and resolve to exceed her in skill by 10 times or more through training, under hard at work with Great Sage later when business is over. And train with wielding Shizu's long sword. Well, spell casting does take some time. Benimaru mused as he took time to cast his Hell Flare. It's a skill but still magical in nature. Rimuru uses actual magic spells, so she was slower than he by a few seconds in execution. He could admit that much. Those seconds they needed to prepare are all Hakuro needs to defeat them. The two sides decided a meeting must be held over war aftermath. So representatives of each race gathered together the next day. Now then, Chairman Rimuru Tempest, trainee spoke, and what she called her was quite a shock. Please begin the conference. Why am I the chairman? Rimuru sputtered in protest. As of this moment, you are now the strongest being in this entire forest, said trainee. Thus everyone would listen to you more, she explained to Rimuru's clear shock. To her horror, everyone agreed. Come on, you can do it. Sue encouraged. Rimuru momentarily went gooey in her human form before bucking herself up. She has to think of it like back in school days, when sometimes, she's group leader. Yeah, that's it. Ahem. There is something I must show everyone first, Rimuru told them after forcing composure on herself. In one's actions, there's always a motive behind it, she said. I can project what I've seen, a piece of Geld's memory that led to this conflict. She looked at the orcs who looked really down. You all came from Orbic Kingdom, a place in Gistov country that bordered into dragon territory, right? Why yes, said the young man Rimuru saw in Geld's memories. Famine struck. For a year there's nothing that grew in an arid land under scorching sun, Rimuru continued as she projected the lands she saw through an illusion. And for protection, you must pay steep taxes. Make it in time, or lose that protection, but in your case, you lost both safety and expelled out of your homes because you could not produce your taxes in the land you were assigned to. She showed what she saw in Geld's memories, though she edited some parts a bit when their two wills conversed. The memories made the orcs weep in sorrow, and for everyone else to understand that this made the orcs ripe for the picking for exploitation. Geld was actually a kind king who was willing to mutilate himself for starving children before he was lost to corruption. He knew what he was getting into by fully becoming Orc Lord and fully aware Gelmud's using him before he lost his mind, as what else could he do? As long as he eats, his people will never feel hungry. He would be the one carrying their hunger and their sins. However, Rimuru took over his sins, that comforted his spirit. As I promised Geld, I will shoulder his grief and sins. Rimuru ended the illusion. However, nobody will be satisfied with just that. Some things must be done. Everyone through the Dryads must know the truth about the Orc Disaster, so nobody will ostracize the orcs for things beyond their control while fully willing to make amendments. Trainee, are there survivors of other races? Yes. About 40,000 goblins, including the ones Gabiru has recruited among that number. said Trainee. Only Western Jura endured Gelmud's atrocities. Eastern Jura is full of stronger and more developed monsters in terms of living standards and fighting ability. He could not afford to offend them because it is as you say, he is weak, and in control of an army that was losing sanity over time. He is clearly no army commander. What can that do, against B-to-A ranked tribes? That shocked the races within the throne room. They're that weak compared to their eastern counterparts? How inferior are we to them? Gabiru shook, his pride smashed at her words. I believe. One village of 600 Eastern Oni is worth 5,000 Hikuras from the Kijin in fighting skill. The only common thing with you now are your magical energy levels. That shocked them all. Hakuro is their best warrior. The Oni and Kijin gawked at her in horror as the Eastern tribes are stronger than them. How? Hakuro now looked very thoughtful. Considering everyone in the village is his student. Yes, he'll make it 10 times harder as he's not getting any younger. I guess we all have to work hard. Rimuru croaked out. I'll get challenges I can't win even with all my power. And if they win against me, they'll grow big-headed and offend those who are actually better than me at being a demon lord seed thingy and bring misery onto themselves. So I'll have to ask Trainee-san to tweak the truth a little. That 2 allied monster armies succeeded with considerable casualties sounds a lot better at this point. She requested and the older woman nodded as yes, that makes horrifying sense now. We'll have to plan that out here so it's believable and nobody's gonna suspect anything. Arrogance brings karmic misery back in turn. Final problem. Yeah, the orcs are willing to make amends, but we got over 35,000 homeless orcs now, and no food either. Because all this started with food and homelessness in the first place. Rimuru choked out. Yeah, we have farms, but all that won't last even a week and crops takes time to grow. How are we gonna feed everybody? 10,000 Lizardmen's fish ponds, 300-something Oni and Kijin combined with our farms can't feed everybody and last I checked, goblins don't farm. She told them. We must solve the issue of residence and sustenance to truly declare this case closed before we work on a favorable sentence. Everyone fell silent. Yeah, that was troubling. Need I add that we too are homeless as our village just got trashed, Kushiro? Rimuru reminded Kushiro who looked horrified, even worse as he almost forgot about it. Oh, shit. Kushiro swore with a face palm. I forgot because we're all pressed for time while living in Veldora-sama's cave. He groaned. Our money should still be safe so we can buy supplies in Dwargon. It's the rebuilding that'll be the hard part. And that's where the orc's sentence comes in. Rimuru said. I know of an ideal place we can live in and build farms in. You know where I'm getting at. Plenty of water, level ground suitable for farming and surely not far from the farms, will be our new home. It's also not far from Veldora's cave. It didn't take everyone long to figure out her sentence to the orcs. It's the least we could do, said the young orc. As my father's son, on behalf of the orcs, we accept your judgment. Very well, come here, you. Rimuru beckoned him to come closer. The young orc obeyed. The sentence of the orcs is that you will help build the settlements of survivors of tribes troubled by this case. We will build a large city and a large farm enough to house everybody involved in our case. Your sentence will only end once everything is fully functional and you too will be allowed to live in the city afterward. And as we're all monsters, who cares about taxes? Only humans bother with taxes, and we're not starting any day soon. We'll start planning with architects before we put this to work. She named him Geld II, and evolved him to Orc King, gifting him too with the same amount of magicules to be equal to Kushiro in strength at least. As for food, Trainee will cover the costs due to the natural ability of Treants. The Dryads can distribute food with the help of the Tempest Wolves and their shadow travel ability. And Sue's clone traveled to Dwargon to approach Kaijin while the rest went home to begin planning.